Hey, Wizards. From looking at the things I left you guys on the snow day today, there's still some confusion about what it means to interpret a confidence interval, what it means to explain what confidence levels mean, and to explain what a p-value means. So I want to get another video out for you. All three of those questions were addressed in the 4 videos I placed up there yesterday, and it was also, I think, addressed on the stuff I left from Monday, and this will be another one you can refer to. So we kind of addressed this question in class the other day about the readers for a major metropolitan newspaper. A 99% confidence interval was constructed, and that 99% interval was from 0.37 to 0.43. How to interpret the interval? When you're asked to interpret the interval, it's a statement that starts out with I am blank percent confident that whatever my population parameter is that I'm trying to estimate is between this number and that number, the two numbers I computed. So for this context, I am 99% confident that the true population proportion of readers who want more local news is between 0.37 and 0.43. That's the interpretation statement. I am 99% confident that my population proportion that I'm trying to estimate is between 0.37 and 0.43. Now, explain what this means. What does 99% confidence mean? When you explain what it means, this is a statement about the method of collecting samples and constructing confidence intervals. So if I repeatedly took random samples of the same size and from the same population, these samples would most likely have different p-hat values. And since the confidence interval is based on the p-hat values, and the p-hat values are different, the confidence intervals will be different. What we talked about in class is some of them would be good. In other words, some of them would contain the true population proportion, and others would not. And I don't know which ones are which. Here's all I do know. If I constructed confidence intervals for each of these samples that I collected, on average, about 99% of these confidence intervals would contain the true population proportion of readers who want more local news. So that is what it means to explain 99% confidence. The other thing that was giving you guys fits was explaining what a p-value is. So we're going to do the exact same question again. The only difference in the question is the owners of this newspaper believe that 50% of its readers think the paper should increase the coverage of local news. And so what they do now, instead of a sample size of 1,600, they take a sample size of 160 readers. And they found that 40% of the sample wanted more local news. Does this sample provide evidence that the true population proportion of readers who want more local news coverage is less than 50%? They ran a hypothesis test, and they found a p-value of 0.006. So this is a very small p-value, smaller than any reasonable significance level or alpha level. And so the decision, of course, would be to reject the null hypothesis. We'll talk more about decisions tomorrow and the types of errors that might be made. But in the meantime, what does the p-value of 0.006 mean? Well, a p-value is a conditional probability. Remember, when we do a hypothesis test, we kind of put our faith and trust in our population or what we believe to be true about the population, and we ask ourselves, could the sample we collected have occurred just by chance? So to explain what a p-value is, we create a statement like this. Given the population proportion of readers, if I could only spell, it'd be great. The population proportion of readers who want more local coverage is 50%. That's my null hypothesis. So given that my null hypothesis is true, the p-value is the probability that I would take a sample of 160 readers and find a p-hat value to be 0.4 or less than 0.4. And so that's what a p-value means. A p-value is a conditional probability given the null hypothesis is true, how likely is it to see a sample with a p-hat value like I found in the sample, or one even more extreme than that? So guys, keep hitting up these videos, keep watching these videos. If there's any other questions you have, make certain you ask me or message me in My Open Math or through Schoology. And I hope this has been helpful.